Welcome to the show, everyone. It's the Crypto Lark. Today, we're going to be talking about the pure Mountain ICO decentralized trust for everyone. We're going to be breaking down just what that means after a quick shout out to everyone who's been hitting that like button. And of course, everyone who's been subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that button down below or the bell to stay up to date with all of the latest in crypto space. Furthermore, this is of course not professional financial advice. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. This is an ICO. Please do your own due diligence before investing your own money, because there is always a certain amount of inherent risk in investing in any ICO. Furthermore, the team at Pure Mountain has reached out to me to do a sponsored review of their project. However, as always, I have reserved the right to keep this an open and honest review, so let's get into it. As we all know, data security is currently a problem because we have centralized servers, and centralized servers get hacked. It's just a matter of time. We need to look no farther than Equifax to realize just how broken this whole system is. Then when you realize we are still using those same broken systems, well, it's time for a change. Pure Mountain is offering to be part of that change. They want to give you the ownership and the control of your cryptographically secure ID. This is all going to go into an end-to-end ecosystem. Now they want to have this designed for commerce and the exchange of digital and physical services to facilitate the trust and the secure sharing of information with multiple parties across many different broad networks. Pure Mountain is compliance ready, mobile ready, and peer-to-peer. Current patent pending technology, the Pure Chain technology, is looking to turn compliance and data ownership, or at least the way we currently understand it, on its head, particularly for enterprises. It's also looking to overcome public chain scalability issues without compromising trust. Currently, Pure Mountain is in its alpha. Pure Mountain, though, is not an identity platform. That is something that's really important to underline here, but it is an application ecosystem which is specifically designed to facilitate the commerce and exchange of the digital and physical services. So Pure Mountain is the facilitating technology in a trust ecosystem sitting right in the middle of all the different players around it. With Pure Mountain, whether you're a consumer, a service provider, or a trust provider, you're not going to have to compromise. You control your data. You decide who, if anyone, to expose that data to. It's safe from third parties, and it's even safe from the platform. Yes, not even Pure Mountain is going to be able to look at your data. Your data will only be identifiable via a public key, and you control what data to expose. Now, interestingly, you can also revoke access to that data later on. You can use your persona to conduct business or to sign legally binding contracts, for example. Nobody can exploit your keys. They are protected by your authentication PIN and also your fingerprint. So if you lose your mobile device, you can always recover your key using an offline secret that, of course, only you keep. This is a distributed platform of trusted facts. The ecosystem permits people and companies to assert facts about themselves and to assert facts about other parties, and to attest, so as to verify and say if it is true about those assertions. This, of course, has really awesome use case potential. The guys at Pure Mountain give a nice example of how all of this works with blockchain use, so the university experience and your ID. Now, look, if you have an ID, say your student ID at university, there are certain instances in which you're going to need that. You're going to need it for registering for courses or for signing up for a lunch pass, getting a discount at the movie theater later on. This could all be verified on the blockchain. Now, maybe you don't want everyone to know all of your information every time you have to show your student ID. Maybe you just want to verify that, yes, this information is indeed true. Well, that would be a possibility here. What about after university? You can also put your other certifications and skills on the blockchain, for example. And you could have your degrees or your experience attested to in that situation. Let's talk about the Peer Mountain token. Now this is a utility token. The PMT token is used to measure the value of trustworthiness within the Peer Mountain ecosystem. Now, if you are a consumer of trust, you will transfer PMT to entities that you trust the most. The only way to earn Peer Mountain tokens is, of course, to be trustworthy. Individuals and enterprises will use PMT to consume attestations, so that is to consume verifications of the truth, and of course to generate invitations as well. Now this is going to be working cross-chain, which is very, very interesting. So this can have instances on the Ethereum blockchain or the Stellar blockchain or the Cardano or the EOS blockchain. So that is really interesting to see them bringing in cross-chain trust. Fascinating idea. Now, if you're a Peer Mountain attestation provider, for example, you'll earn PMT for identity validation or providing certificates. And service providers, of course, need to use PMT in order to offer services. There are three key components making up the Peer Mountain ecosystem. We have the mobile end user or the consumer. We have the enterprise backend, of course, that is the service providers. And we have the attestation engine or the certificate provider. Now, any client can actually play all three roles, but this is all going to be taking place with micropayments within the system. And all these micropayments are going to be moving from point A to point B to point C in order to establish that circle of trust. One cool thing here too is that you're actually, if you're a business, you're going to be able to come to Peer Mountain and buy PMT tokens straight on the platform, so you don't have to go through that situation of buying Ethereum, going to an exchange, buying PMT tokens, dealing with the gas fees and all that. Now there's about a 5% markup for that service, but I think it could be very attractive for businesses just to be able to go straight to Peer Mountain, get their tokens, and move on with their day. Real-time KYC push button auditing. The marketplace is coming out with things like the Attestation Engine SDK. They're also going to be working with a number of different attestation providers that are already existing companies like Jumio or Mitek, for example. In fact, 15 companies have already expressed very solid interest in joining Peer Mountain. And very important to underline as well is that this is actually free for the end user. So that's very important to keep in mind there too. Now, as far as utilization of the blockchain goes here, really only the message identifier and hashes related to the content of the message are stored on the blockchain layer. All the other information is kept in a high performance distributed database, but there are only certain things that are specifically registered across the blockchain. Let's take a look at the team. And it really centers around Jed Grant. He is the CEO, lead architect, and visionary. He has years of business experience. He's an old school cypherpunk as well. He's very active in the ICO regulation space. Massive experience with KYC and anti-money laundering. And he's also anti-hype. He's really focused on delivering tech without all the fluff and BS, which is pretty cool, to be honest. I definitely like people who like to deliver on tech. And if you look at the team, it seems like Jed basically searched the globe and put together kind of his dream team of technologists and data experts and really interesting advisors with amazing experience, people who have really proven themselves already. So it's a really great looking team. Let's have a look at the partners and the roadmap at the same time, actually, because they're very much interlinked. As I mentioned earlier, we're already in the alpha. The ICO is going to be coming here in the second quarter of 2018. But as you see here, we have major Swiss company and major German company. We don't have the names of those yet. We'll have to wait for the announcements for those to come later. But they are working with some big companies, and the partnerships with these are aiming to deliver 3 million users to the Peer Mountain platform in Switzerland in September, and another 9 million users to the Peer Mountain platform in Germany in December. That means that by December of this year, Peer Mountain will have at least 12 million users of the platform. Think about that for a second. That's pretty huge. This could be a real inroad for a lot of people's introduction actually to a blockchain related project, but also a great business opportunity for the platform moving forward. Before we get into the token sale, there are some concerns that I did want to highlight for you. Now look, data security and trust are super hot right now, and there are a lot of competitors in the space: Civic, Selfkey, Ontology. But interestingly, Pure Mountain is aiming to be a protocol. That's something that's really important to remember here. And they could actually be the intermediary that is going to help Civic actually work. Now, what about the regulatory scene? The regulatory scene around data can, of course, be very tricky, but Pure Mountain is aiming to be as flexible and compliant as possible. Now, this is easy in the EU and easy enough in Switzerland, but this is perhaps a bit of a trickier equation when we start talking about Africa or some countries in Asia, for example. So it remains to be seen how those barriers will be overcome moving forward. What about adoption? Will people actually want to use the Pure Mountain protocol? Obviously, we already have some great partnerships lined up with those corporate partners, and that's going to bring a big audience in for it. So I think there's a lot of potential there for that, but nevertheless, it is a question. Let's break down the details of the token sale. ICO 2.0, maximum transparency and maximum regulatory compliance. Equal opportunity for all investors is the key. A light smart cap algorithm is being used to optimize the ICO in up to 6 rounds of the sale. There has been no private pre-sale. 40% of the tokens are being sold in the sale. So a maximum amount of tokens that will be on sale is approximately 131 million tokens. The total supply of tokens, if the hard cap of 39,488 Ethereum is reached, will be approximately 327 million tokens. Now, if, for example, only 50% of that hard cap is raised, well, then only about 65 million tokens will go up during the sale for the public, and the total supply then will be approximately 160 million. Now, this is a very fascinating ICO on many levels. Data security is really big right now. They have some very promising corporate partnerships as well. Jed Grant is a highly capable and experienced person in his field. He also has a very good team working under him, so there are a lot of pluses to this project without a doubt. But those are just my 2 Satoshis. You'll let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.